Yo, what's up, and welcome to episode 183 of the 30% podcast. I am a fine African man, aka Afamefuna. My co-host is Sam, the Jedediah Ari, and today we are joined by Muthoni the Drummer Queen. This is so exciting. I'm so excited.
It's video. We've not been in video. They can see us now.
Oh yeah, also, yes, this is the first
It's supposed to introduce
video.
the first video.
Yeah, this is the
Intro
first
it.
video edition of the podcast. And what better way to do it than interviewing the queen herself?
Indeed.
Drummer queen.
I must say, quite auspicious. And nice to put faces to the
I
names.
couldn't say it better myself. How are you doing?
I'm really happy.
Yeah? Happy.
Yeah.
How... I read that you've done philosophy,
Yeah.
right?
There was some philosophy.
Okay, some philosophy. How would you say happiness? Do you try and intellectualize your happiness as a human being? Is that a tough question to start with?
Intellectualize your happiness. That's an
Yeah,
interesting
no, but
question.
it's a question that needs to be asked.
No.
For real.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. I think happiness it comes, I guess, from the fundamental understanding that I am a mind within a mind and only a mind. And
Whoa.
You are a mind within a mind
within a mind
and
only a mind.
only a mind.
And
what does that- wait, what does
what
that
that means is
mean?
that in essence, as we are in the creator's mind. We are created from the creator's mind.
Okay.
We exist within the creator's mind, and then we kind of dream this whole illusion called being here and our physical avatars.
Wait, so you think this is an
Whoa!
illusion?
100 quadrillion
All right.
bajillion
Because now we have to get into that.
gazillion
Now we're going to have to get
percent.
into that. We're going to have to.
Sam said, bro.
What
Double click.
convinces you? What convinces you that this is an illusion?
We're in a simulation right now.
I don't actually think is convinced as much as revealed.
Okay.
This, I think, for me, the revelation around the matter doesn't matter. There is no matter. There is no form.
Matter
But
doesn't
we
matter.
are able to construct an idea of matter. We create as the creator creates, which is with our minds, and we create this idea, and we are high key, all of us. And I mean, I'm not the first to say this, bro. Like Einstein really did say it. It is an illusion, convincing and sustained by all of us sharing the same illusion. But it is illusion.
You know, she had actually. I was
illusion.
reading, so I don't know the physics of this, but I was reading like we don't really touch things. Like there's a small
there's a
barrier
small- because of the
between
atoms.
because of the atoms, and so really what we're feeling is just like an illusion essentially that our mind
Yeah.
tells us this is
Yeah.
this feels wet
Yeah.
or this feels
Yeah.
cold.
And these forms are projections. They're the mind decides that it wants to have the all mind. We are part of the all mind, and the all mind doesn't have experience, and doesn't have time, and has no limitations, right? Ever expanding. And then the desire to have
It's mind blowing.
This is mind blowing.
Wow.
It's
Oh
like,
wow.
bro, which topic are we in at the start of our first video podcast?
I love it, though.
No, this is,
I love
this is
it,
fitting.
though.
I think this is
Exactly.
fitting. This is very
feels like
fitting.
a great place to start. Yeah. And then the desire of so we are all that one awareness, and then kind of like it's kind of like a drop of water in a glass of water. Okay.
Okay.
So it's a glass of water.
Yeah.
And then an individual drop of water within this glass of water
Yeah.
seeks to have kind of that experience of like, oh, what does it mean to be an individualized drop of water?
Mhm.
And that's really what it is. So there's the big creator mind, and then we are like drops within that mind, and then that mind our mind derives from the mind, right? We think as the creator thinks, we move as the creator moves. So we think it and it becomes, and we think this plane of 2D and 3D and contrast, a world of contrast. And through contrast, we're able to know, I like this, I don't like this, or I have an appreciation for But you know, you
Sure.
just it's a whole dream. It's really a dream state.
Would you say you're big on manifestation?
It's not that I'm big on it. It's just the law.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Are you big on breathing?
On griefing or
On
Breathing.
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 Oh,
Are you big on breathing?
So you're saying manifestation is something that just happens,
It does.
like
It's law.
as you
It's law.
exist.
It's law.
what's interesting? Are you big on? Am I big on grieving?
On
Not
breathing.
Breathing.
I keep saying grieving. I don't know why I'm saying grieving.
No, Sam, do you
Breathing.
want to unpack some things?
I don't want to.
Yeah, why are you talking about
No,
Sam
no,
said
no,
so
no.
much?
Sign
No,
me
no,
up.
no, no. That's really interesting. But then, so you're talking about the drop, right? Drop your little bit of, like, think of an ocean, your drop of water in there. Do you think, this is just from my brain, do you think, because you're a very colorful person, very colorful. I think this first time I saw you up close was during the last blankets I attended.
Right?
And you could tell that you were in the area, right?
Okay.
So, and even the way
Maybe
you're
quite
dressed.
yardy.
Exactly.
You're saying you have an aura
I do.
around you,
That's a
about
good
you.
put.
As we all
And the way
do.
you're dressed, like you dress in your fashion sense and you dress very loudly. Do you think that matters? If you're talking about the ocean now and that little drop,
Yeah.
like if you have a drop that's
Yeah.
red
Yeah.
in the big ocean, do you think like that matters in the grand when you look at it?
I mean, it matters to the extent that that's the desire of this mind, that this mind has created this imagination of an artist, a creator expressing, you know, artistry is really creation, right?
Yeah.
It's truly creator mind,
Yeah.
right? Expressing, presenting,
Mhm.
playing.
Yeah.
So those are, you know, it matters for me because those are my imaginations. That's my version of the illusion, right?
Okay.
But it doesn't need to matter to anybody else. And
As long as it matters to
just
you.
to me, yeah.
Sam,
it's for my vibe.
we were talking about like, so when we're talking about like mixing vocals or just
Yeah.
mixing music,
Yeah.
and sometimes you really labor over, oh, is this hi hat, should it be panned,
Yeah.
or should this one
Yeah.
kick,
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
should I
yeah,
remove
yeah.
this one kick? And for the most part, most people wouldn't really notice when they're consuming the music,
Yeah.
but it matters to me
Yeah.
as the producer,
Yeah.
and for me, creating my art. That's what I want to,
Yeah.
impart on my art.
Yeah.
And so that matters.
It does matter.
So it does.
Yeah.
It does matter
But
if you're
then
a red drop
that-
in an ocean of
That
blue
ends
water.
up throwing out objectivity though
Uh-huh.
in the art.
In what
Keep
sense?
going.
Because if everything matters individually to everyone, and that's what's seen as the highest opinion, right?
Okay.
Then where is there room for, okay, things are supposed to be this way, and this is the line and the rubric, and this is what we should follow, versus, because then I can come and say, no, like your line shouldn't be the line. This specific dBs of
Yeah.
mastering shouldn't be that, is
You're posing a very hard question right now.
Yeah. And I also think that like lots of people share the same illusions.
Mm.
And this is how things end up becoming norms because lots of people think that certain things should happen in a certain way. And that matters too.
Yeah.
And then lots of people have a different opinion. And, you know, there's lots of convergence and divergence. And I think ultimately the point is it's all illusion.
Mhm.
And the power enters when you understand that it's illusion, but that's not actually the real power. The real power is understanding that you are mind within the mind. As creator is you are. As creator creates, so do you.
As creator is you are.
As creator is you are, and that's where you are, and that's the only place you are. And
Mhm.
therefore, as you move through the illusion,
Yeah.
having that kind of knowledge, it actually changes the illusion that you live through, right?
Mhm.
Like there are just things that are available to you. Like, so joy is a character of the creator, and therefore joy is a character of me.
Mhm.
So to your point, you know, so the happiness isn't intellectualized or something doesn't need to happen for the happiness to exist. It's like it is in my nature. My nature is joy,
Mhm.
and I can access that part of my nature at any time. And it was easy to access that part of my nature coming today because I've been dying to be on this pod. So
Welcome to the 30% podcast where we talk philosophy.
Philosophy.
clearly.
Yeah. It's getting to crunch time though. It's getting to crunch time, the shows. Do you get, I mean, everyone looks busy and hectic.
Do you still
When?
get stressed?
Yeah.
of course. Of course.
Do you
But
though?
has your stress like morphed into, like, do you worry about different things than you did back in the day?
No. That's actually one of the most low-grade outcomes of the illusion I've been sustaining. I was having this conversation with my partner, and I'm like, bro, I've been having the same problems for 12 years. Like, if I think about it, like from a business perspective.
In what sense? What
Like,
kind of
you're
problems?
doing the same runaround. You're always solving the same problem. You know, how do you create demand in a specific moment? How do you sustain the demand in a specific moment? How do you make the money work in that specific moment? How do you create the best possible outcome given the cards that you have on the table? How do you mute the noise? How do you live through the tough moments? When you're going through the tough moment, it's just tough.
Yeah.
It's just tough, you know? Like,
has social media increased that perception of just like the noise?
yeah,
Yeah.
100,000%.
How do you deal with that?
A chunk of it is me not being on social. I'm
Very smart.
barely
That's
on social.
very smart.
Honestly, I'm barely on social.
Okay.
I'm barely on socials. And yeah, I got off Twitter at maybe May, April of last year.
Okay. And what
And
led
I
to
think
that?
I was only I just caught that there was too much noise.
A lot of noise.
Too much
Yeah.
information. And then I was at TED last year. And one of the speakers, you know, TED is technologists, the people who make the actual technology.
Yeah.
That's them. That's who talks. And at least part of who talks. And one of the things that I really left TED with last year is like, high key, on a good day, 50% of what you see on X is false. It's just purely false. It's bots and false.
Oh, man.
Like, I don't mean false like miseducated, like false like your name is Sam, right? And I'm here recording with Sam.
Yeah.
And then on Twitter it'll be like, Sam was sleeping inside choir. It's like literally false.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of that, and there's a sect of people who will believe that as
You
like
die for that news, actually.
Exactly.
True.
And
Yeah.
because you don't, so, and so then I realized how fragile our understanding of what truth is. And even when you're saying you're engaging with an idea, what idea? Is this actually an idea? Or is this just like a false thing presenting to be an idea? So that was the first thing I did. I just needed to get off that platform. And I noticed like my internal noise immediately went down. And then Instagram, I'm a millennial, so we love Instagram.
we're millennials
But
here.
then I really found that I do not enjoy the algorithmic setup of it.
It's horrible.
Yeah, so me, I'm just like, I just really want to see the guys
miss
I like and the put like my interests, my people, like literally the ones I've opted in. Teach me. Thank you for all the recommendations, but I actually high key do not want your recommendations, because before it's like you just have your regular timeline and then there's the
and it was
recommendations.
chronological as well.
Exactly, it was chronological,
which is
and
so
then you
good.
could have your recommendations, and then you could opt in, and then now when the timeline became like it's merged, the recommendations, it's like for every one real person that you're interested in and follow, there's like 3 recommendations. And I kept muting, and then it stopped muting. I was like, bro, this is not interesting.
It's too much. Like, it's not only is it not chronological anymore, it's ads everywhere.
Yeah.
People you don't know. And they're like, oh, you might be interested in this. No, I will not be interested in
not
this.
be.
And this
Not
I
at
think
all.
that's actually what upset me, because I was like, I was happy for you to be like, I think there's these things that you could be interested in. Go look for them in this other part called might be interested in this.
Yeah.
Happy. Like, let
that
me
would be
opt in.
amazing.
That's it. Let me opt
Yeah.
in to might be interested into this. But right now, just let me look at what I'm
what you wanna
interested
look
in,
at.
because already what I'm interested in is more than I need on a regular day.
Sure.
So I just found that I don't enjoy the way the app itself works. And then TikTok, I really never got into TikTok. I think TikTok is a really useful and great platform.
found this into TikTok.
I'm on TikTok. I doom scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Constantly.
I think it's also that, like, kind of just like,
Yeah.
this is not conspiracy. Truly, 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 the incentives are to keep us
Oh yeah, 100%.
chronically online, and the addiction of it. And I just thought that, like, if there was ever a time to reclaim my mind, it's now, because we're in such a once in I don't know, in these illusions, we're not gonna have this ever again. Like, the world is really fundamentally transforming. And I think part of the armor to go through this moment, and I really mean it, like kind of like this 25, 26 to 2030, we will look back on this time as humanity and be like, oh, that was the window. And I think we really need our mind.
We really do.
I really just was like reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time, reclaiming my time, reclaiming my
And it's
mind.
crazy. The older you get, you realize you really need to be very, very intentional and just take in what's happening on a day-to-day basis, because it just flies by.
Yeah.
If you're spending 4 hours on TikTok, that's 4 hours
Of your life that's gone.
of your life that's just gone.
Yeah.
And that's what I had to realize myself.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, so how do you usually get a gauge of how people are responding to like the events that you like, Blankets and Wine, for example?
All music that we've released,
Yeah.
there's teams around that.
Okay.
So I've optimized.
Okay.
I've optimized. There's a whole comms team.
Okay.
There's a publicist attached to the festival who has a whole team. There's a comms manager. There's a brand manager. There's a community manager. And so what happens is, they read things, they filter through sentiment, they understand, and then they give me the thing that's useful.
Okay.
Right? So these are the insights. These are the things that we are seeing. This is what we think this could mean. This is where they could be correlated. And I really, really appreciate having that layer of insulation, right? So the folks who work on that as their day-to-day wade through that. But we talk also a lot around, but also your healthy attachment from this thing, or detachment, your healthy detachment from this thing.
Detachment and attachment.
Right. So just like it's a job, use it during the working time. Stop when you're not in working time. Come back to it when you're in working time.
Yeah.
It's not you.
Yeah.
It's not you. And
wait, that's interesting that you say that. Was there a time like you feel like so connected to Blankets and Wine, you feel like everything?
I mean, there was,
you as an individual.
And these are founder problems. You know what I mean, right? So like Anthropic is very connected to Dario, for example, or give me something that's been founded. I don't know. ChatGPT is very connected to some Altman. It will not always be connected to some Altman.
Yeah.
As entities develop and grow and build systems, because all businesses begin like a single-celled organism, and you are the everything of everything. But as you grow more professional, as you professionalize rather, roles happen, right? So then like just like a single-celled organism, just different parts start to develop naturally.
Yeah.
And as a founder, you have the fortune of being able to then optimize and just be like, where am I most uniquely positioned to bring value to this thing? And then you occupy that. And then other people who are really uniquely positioned to, for example, run the brand or run the comms or run the PR or run production, do that. And then you can hold on to bigger thoughts and bigger things and steer at so you're able to provide perspective for your team.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's interesting. One of the questions I was thinking about is, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time.
17 years.
17 years you've been doing it for, and it has taken different forms.
Yeah.
How are you processing the day where you won't be at the driver's seat?
Oh my God, with champagne.
Are you thinking about
with champagne?
That's crazy.
Endless. Oh my God, I'll drink champagne for like 6 months straight.
But
that's
why
what
though?
I'll be doing. First, there's an inherent trust that the beautiful ones have been born. The ones who are going to go farther, faster.
Okay.
But speaking of sophistication, I feel like that also speaks to taste.
Yeah.
And I feel like taste has a huge part to play in the whole Blankets and Wine. You know, like the Taste Lives Here editions and everything. How would you say, as somebody who's done this for 17 years, by the way, how would you say Kenyan's tastes have changed, like based off of your observation?
How has it evolved?
I like it. Good question. Where I think the largest evolution has been in the last 17 odd years that I've been doing this work has been the taste has turned toward us. right? Like as a primary consideration. Like
Okay.
we are now consuming ourselves and making music that is in our image and our likeness
Which
and
is beautiful.
referencing ourselves and wanting more of us, right? So you listen to South African house music and you ask, how do I Kenyanize this? And then you make a whole genre called uns.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like uns is literally a Kenyan word.
We have a Safari Unsa over here.
Yeah.
Hello,
Oh, it's
Safari.
Kenyan.
Yeah, uns is a Kenyan word.
I mean,
I didn't know
You
that.
can kind of see that though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that's
just
good.
I
See
just
that.
learned that. Yeah, I was talking with a really, really good music journalist from South Africa. She's like, that's a really peculiar
Are they
thing.
aware of what's going on
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
Afro house scene here?
Yeah.
The Un scene?
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
that's
That's a
great.
Kenyan
Yeah,
thing.
uns is Kenyan. And actually, it's after she put me
The
onto
more
it
you
that I
know.
started to listen. And I was like, oh yeah, like when, you know, like I said, listening now, like with a producer, you had to like stuff that Mura is making.
Yeah.
Shout out to
And
Mura.
I was like, yeah, this isn't house per se. House. There's a twist on the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uaya's arrival, his vocal cadence, the pockets he's going to find. Ons is a Kenyan derivative of house music. It's a Kenyan innovation around house music. I think that's really lovely. So even in that world where, you know, South Africa is still like kind of, you know, the Mecca, and like where South Africa is one of the Meccas. I know there's lots
Yeah.
of house Meccas. The choice is to listen to uns. So self-referencing, self-evolution, self-discovery. And that's really dope. And it's hard because now if you're in it, it's just like, yeah, it's just Kenyan music. I can't tell you how long.
Yeah.
How long and hard fought this thing has been. And how catalytic. Yeah, catalyst. How catalytic
Yes.
Blankets and Wine has been to hold space for that.
Okay.
To be like, it doesn't matter if you know this artist, they're dope. You come and you're paying, to watch them. It's dope.
Yeah.
And as we're vouching for them, you come. And then like people consume themselves. Or first people arrive and then they have a dignified experience. And they're like, oh, that was good. Oh, yeah, I like sitting outside in the sun. Yeah. Why hadn't I thought of this? You should be outside in the sun with some wine and like
A blanket.
you know what I mean?
Preferably,
It's
yeah.
day drinking. Like, go for it. Yeah, you should have this moment of like music. Also, music really is spiritual. When we are all in the zone with the artist in that moment, that's very like, honestly, it's church. That connection, that oneness, that upliftment. It's very spiritual. So Blankets holding space and being like, yeah, this thing, and it's by Kenyans, and it's Kenyans who are doing it, and it's Kenyans. And then like now we exist in a world where that is the norm. Enough that now people can even tell me, now you know you need to go and do benchmarking. And I'm like, oh my God. That's so embarrassing. But like,
I love that you mentioned that Kenyans have a huge palette, and now it's really focusing on us, which is why we made this podcast, because we want to champion.
This is why I like this podcast.
Kenyan music.
Oh my God.
How does that inform how you go about curating the lineups for Blankets and Wine? And how has that changed since like the earlier iterations?
Well, at the beginning, so Blankets was a home of misfits. And pretty much myself, Sauti Sol, Just a Band, Eric Wainaina, Susanna Wio, Abi Nyinza. Anybody who was not making straight kapuka didn't really have space, didn't really have a platform.
Yeah.
To be fair, even the people who are making kapuka had very limited platforms, right? That's a whole other topic. But like the point is there wasn't enough platforms anyway.
Okay.
But definitely wasn't platforms for folks who are trying things that were not considered to be urban pop music at the time.
Okay.
Things that could be considered more alternative and
and I mean they're not really alternative,
niche.
right?
But they're not really.
They're actually not alternative at all. The lens, it's just that the person who's entered into the conversation has come with a lens of this is kapuka. Kapuka is Kenyan urban music. Therefore, everything relative to kapuka is alternative.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
right?
Mhm.
But in reality, is it alternative? It's just like multiple things. Is a daisy an alternative? Is a daisy an alternative flower to a rose? It's just different. If you hold the perspective that rose flowers are the only flowers, therefore everything else that is not a rose flower is an alternative,
Yes.
you see how obnoxious and foolish that sounds.
An alternative usually will carry the connotation that it's not as important or not as good.
Yeah, or it's kind of niche. It's for just a few people. It's not everybody who can really understand a tuberose. Only roses. Roses is the truth. These
Yeah.
other ones, they're not such. You see how stupid and obnoxious that sounds?
Yeah.
This was the fundamental premise of the music industry I walked into when I wanted to make music. And my references were like Lauryn Hill and the Fugees and Missy Elliott and Timbaland and Necessary Noise and Giddy Giddy Maji Maji, right? And I was like, yo, that's dope. That's fly. I love pop, push pop further. And then I walked straight into a wall where people are like, yeah, but you guys, you have kind of like a Lenubia thing going on. This like neo soul thing that's kind of like in the music. I don't know. You guys just sing Manyake and it's going to be all right. And I'm like, why? Like, shout out Manyake, but like,
That's a funny phrase.
I just think that there should be a lot of music.
Shout out Manyake.
Yeah, shout out Manyake, bro.
funny
There was a
phrase.
whole
Not
moment
for
in the
real, shout out.
culture. But like, you know, and there was like kind of like
Old sizes.
yeah, and there was also like there was a message in the thing, you know, something Jualandi or Naitaji was kind of like about safe sex.
It was
It was
the youth.
educative.
Yeah,
honestly.
no one cares about nothing. Yeah,
Right?
When it's doing whatever now.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But it just felt to me that you should have many, many, many different kind of things.
Yeah.
Like you love ugali, but like today you eat ugali with fish, tomorrow you eat ugali with nyama, the next day you eat ugali mala, another day you eat ugali mursik. Like variety is literally the spice of your own life, and I just thought it was so limited and so and untenable.
Yeah.
That I couldn't exist. So then I built the platform for all the people who'd been told they were misfits. So at the beginning, you know, kind of was just like, just get the misfits. But I was also really aware from the beginning that ultimately what you're curating is a buffet.
Yeah.
A really, really good buffet. Like a dope buffet. So all these things should be able to sit side by side on the buffet table, and you should find some faves, and there should be other things you're like, eh, and there should be other things you're like, I'd like to try, and that should be, and that's what makes a festival
So
experience.
that's how you curate the entire thing.
Yeah,
for people.
interesting, right?
Mhm.
So that there's things to discover, things to know,
Yeah.
things to consider, things to ignore.
Gotcha.
And that's really never changed. The only thing that has changed is that there's now a curatorial committee.
Yeah.
So there's more voices on the table. There's much more research. There's a lot of data that's used to corroborate some of the ideas. There is inclusion of non-Kenyans. There's a question of when you include them, how do you include them? Where do you place them?
Is everything data-based now? Or do you also just go by vibes? You're like, I
Yeah,
love this
yeah,
artist, and
both,
so I want this
both,
artist
both,
on
both.
my lineup.
Both. There's things where it's like, bro, on this thing, my vibe coding.
Mm.
Na siulizi advice yenu.
This is who I want.
Yeah, it
like,
is what it is.
Yeah.
But then
Cool, I get that.
overall, that thing has to sit within the whole buffet.
Yeah.
Right. Which is why, for example, I don't perform at all of them.
Mhm.
Because I'm not always the right thing added to the rest of the ingredients on the buffet. You know, so it's always a question of, it's like putting together a fit. This plus this plus this plus this. There's also the economics. Ultimately, a concert, a festival, a live music experience is about bums on seats. So how do you drive bums on seats?
Mhm.
How do you distribute the weight of how you deliver bums on seats? Who are the real deliverers of bums on seats vis-a-vis who are the people who get to benefit from the drivers? So these are the conversations kind of around who are headliners, who are rising stars, who are legends, who are startups.
I mean, this might be.
It's very intuitive, and you know it. You all know it. You all know it. Which is why, you know, sometimes we put a program and guys have thoughts.
But
This person should have performed at this time, and we're like, yeah, there's an
Okay.
intuition.
I have to ask. So
ahead.
when it comes to putting bums on seats, and you saying like, who are the real people who put bums on seats?
Yeah.
Like, would you say that shift has moved primarily to like Kenyan artists, or is there still do we still exist in a place where
you would like my answer. You would like my answer.
you know the question I'm asking?
I know what you're asking me. You would like my answer.
Okay.
You would like my answer. I would say that it's always, so let me give you a palatable answer.
Okay.
It depends. The
Depends.
combination of artists, the time of the year. Sometimes you can drive it entirely with the Kenyan program, and sometimes you can't drive it entirely with the Kenyan program.
Okay.
So that's the actual honest answer, right? But the data doesn't lie. We see how you purchase and we see what you respond to when you purchase. And so even when you're chest thumping, we're like, but your money is where you talk. We see.
Yeah.
We see where you put your money.
Do you ever have
And
to?
sometimes it's very heartbreaking.
That does sound heartbreaking.
It would be. Do you ever have to compromise your ideal show for bums on seats?
No.
Okay.
There's always dope artists. So you don't really. What you can sometimes get is not the artist you wanted.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. I guess if that's a compromise, sure.
Okay.
But no, there are too many dope artists. Yeah.
Okay. And as you're curating the show, sorry, as you're curating the show, obviously when you're starting, you try to stick to. First off, I guess I'll start. Do you have an idea of how each artist works together in terms of the experience, or are these artists that you think are doing, or you have your rubric of whatever criteria you use to get them on the show, and so you could put any different artist in those slots as long as they match up to what sort of you're trying to do in terms of like the theme and everything, or is it I have an idea of what this specific theme for the festival is, and the artists that I'm picking have to, it's like a sequence and they all have to work together. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Both versions are true. We have general areas of curiosity and interest sonically.
Okay.
And so we're like, these 12 sounds, when we start a season, we get together and we're like, these 12 sounds, we want to back these 12 sounds for like the next 2 seasons or maybe 3 seasons sometimes, right? So the most winning combination of these 12 is any 6 or these 6, or am I making sense to you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have this plus this plus this, that's a winning combination. If I have this plus this plus this could be a winning combination. Then you go out and you look for the artists. And then sometimes artists are not available, or you can't afford them, or your dates, all the things that go into sort of querying and booking. And then you come back to the table and you say, but this is what's available. And then the other part of that. So now that's all nice and fun and creative. Yeah, that's sitting on this block.
Yeah.
On this other block are the cold hard realities of production. How much do you have? Uko na ngapi?
Yeah.
Unaanza hii kitu kiwa na ngapi?
Yeah.
How much money do you have for production? How much money can you project that you can get from sponsors? How many tickets? No, sorry. What do things actually cost?
Mm-hmm.
You already know. You have fixed costs, your venue, your toilets, blah, 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 blah. So how much do I need to be able to produce this thing? Okay, you need 25 mic to produce this thing. Wonderful. Okay, so now work backward.
Okay.
So now take all your creative logic and thinking, and what is the number? What is the combination that arrives for you to be able to reasonably believe that you will hit your ticketing target and hit your sponsorship target and hit your vendor target and hit your bar revenue target so that this thing is actually viable. So there's a chunk of it that's completely like creative, and there's a chunk of it that's completely numbers.
Okay.
Because like you have to pay for things.
Money.
I don't know if you guys have come to that realization.
We have. We have.
You have to pay for things.
Yeah.
So it's always a dance between those two things. And then sometimes you have a wild card, a moment that just arrives at you because of your diligence, your patience, and your cultivation of things. And then it's like, woo, that takes you to, a different like stratosphere. I remember in 2019, we had planned, we didn't intend to have a December edition in that
Okay.
year of Blankets and Wine in
Okay.
2019. What we wanted to do was a January date, right? Like the first weekend of January, we talked with Golding's people. They were in South Africa. We're like, great, that would be great. We could add Golding. La, 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 la. We had a really good show that was kind of put together. And then Coffee's agent calls and says, hey, and Coffee was on Toast, right?
Yeah.
It was her breakout song, her breakout year. And he's like, bro, so I want to do East Africa. So we had worked with that agent because we did Chronics here, right? So we did Chronics in Nairobi and we had such a great experience together. And so he's like, yo, I'm giving you first rights. Do you want Coffee? But it's got to be in this days because I need, I'm making Kampala work, I'm making Ghana work. So this is the window. Pick your ideal date. So now I go to my, my co-founder and I'm like, bro.
But when did you get that message? Like
maybe, I want to say maybe late October.
Wow. So you guys had to like
scramble.
Late October, maybe even early November, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah.
So then the understanding in that moment is if we don't take up this artist is still going to end up in this market and they're going to suck the money out of the pocket of people
who
would be choosing between you and that experience.
Yeah.
Right? Because in this matrix, we have designed that resources are scarce and competing interests for your resources.
Yeah.
So we're like, we have to take it. So then we're like, okay, I guess we're doing Blankets in December. And that was the first Kenyan summer. It was just like, that was completely like a wild card.
Yeah.
It paid off like crazy. That year we were technically insolvent. That gig brought us back to life.
Wow.
So there's also moments like that where it's like, it wasn't the plan. The plan found you.
Yeah, the things just happen.
But then also, the only reason it found us is because we've been diligently building. We've been building and building and building. Our cred is tight and solid. Yeah, there can be some that are not that great, but like it doesn't erase any of the work, any of the love, any of the labor. Anyone who's built something, you know it. I mean, you're gonna have so many great pods, and then you're gonna have some that are like, it was right.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay.
It doesn't take away.
It
doesn't take away. But like human beings really spend a lot of time on the one that didn't work and like kind of invalidating everything else that actually works.
I hate that we're like that.
It's
like how when you scroll through comments and the negative one is the one that stands out.
That's
but
the one that
whole
stands
time,
out,
10 people were saying they love whatever
They love it, yeah. And social media has almost, because YouTube does, I mean, social media tends to highlight, because I guess it drives engagement and that's what they do. So they will highlight the comment that incenses, is that a word? The most people. And so, and put that to light so that, more people are engaging on the platform. But then that really killed. That actually could be harmful for the creator.
It is.
It is harmful for the creator.
It's entirely harmful for the creator. And this is why you have to ask the questions about the incentives of the platforms and what are you doing there? Because if you think about it as media, right, do you really need to be there? If you're not really there to look for friends, right? Like talk to your friends in real life.
Yeah.
Is anyone on social media these days?
It's what I'm saying. So there's nothing. There's no
some people are.
Yeah, it could be like your homies where you send each other pictures, but you could also just get off there and just send each other pictures on like however you normally chat on WhatsApp or on like
or go outside.
On iPhone or go outside, whatever, right? So then if you're thinking about, so then this thing literally this is my KTN. I own this TV station called KTN. And so what I could do as a creator is really program my channel with the things that I make and the things that I think are interesting to me. And then I build, if necessary, I build a team that engages with this thing. In the same way, we used to receive fan mail, actual letters. And then you couldn't read 100,000 letters, maybe. So then it's like, you would have a mechanism of sorting the letters and be like, kind of, this letter's around this and this letter's around this, and we really think that you need to read this one, right? So you acquire the insight and the intelligence without necessarily needing to be like sucked into this thing. Okay. And also if you're using it as media for programming, so that means you put and you go. So you don't need to be there, like filling your head with things, and like you really don't need to be doing that. Yeah. And then you could decide that I'm going to make another page where this one is encyclopedic. This one allows me to learn. Yeah. And these are the two areas of interest. I want to learn this and I want to learn this. And this one, I open it on Tuesdays and Fridays between 10 and 11. Just the way you would literally go to the library and pick an encyclopedia and read something and put the thought in your head and then put it back. You don't stay on the encyclopedia.
Yeah, there's no putting anything back these days.
But this is kind of what I'm saying.
Phone flip.
But this is kind of what I'm
hours.
saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. This is exactly what I'm saying. And this is my role as an artist, to offer you the imagination and to offer you the language to know that it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just by design. And you're actually an addict by design and you don't even know you're an addict. At least if you're an alcohol addict or, you know, like a substance addict. You know, when you're a substance addict, you know you're an addict.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know you're an addict. Like someone clocks it that you're an addict, but you also know, like, you have those moments of internal truth where you know that, like, I can't not consume thing X. I can't survive it, right? And then you do the things to get out of that. And I think that's exactly the way we have to. And that's part of getting back your power. The tech bros are insane. Their vision is dystopia. This is the incentive of the platform, to make you unhappy and disconnected.
So let me ask.
Sorry.
Hey. No.
Very
I
passionate
love it.
about that.
I love how passionate you are.
Yeah, because if you have to recover your mind. I don't know what else to say. You have to recover your mind.
So in conjunction with recovering your mind and this dystopia that we are currently living in and about to, I want to ask, what do you think the future of events looks like in the next 10 years?
Oh my God.
The next 20 years.
Thank you for
even?
asking. Oh my God. I want to launch my campaign.
Okay.
Wait,
here we go.
my camera?
Here we go.
Where's the camera?
Yeah.
The camera is right there.
Okay, I'm launching my campaign. My campaign is called Indoors.
Okay.
Indoors. Turudi Ndani.
Okay.
Step 1. Not everything is meant to be outside. In fact, only certain things should be outside. Okay? When Us Guys began, that was the natural model of the thing we were building. Because I was singing a gig, and I had a gig at this little dive bar in Westlands. So I was inside, and I had limitations on the inside. I had cap on how I could grow, you know, based on the physical space and the tickets and the frequency. The point in my artist evolution, my artist business, and I really need to offer that very fundamentally. Every artist is a founder. Every artist is a founder. The way, like, if you're thinking about like tech ed, climate change, like, you know, people who found things, you know, Sam Altman, you are a founder. As an artist, you're a founder. Fundamentally, you have an enterprise. If you figure out how to sell tickets, how to build revenue lines, you're running an enterprise. That is the truth. I wish more people would just come to that conclusion early. But this is why we built Perform Music Incubator, to get you there first. You are an enterprise. You are a founder. What you do with that information after that is up to you on how far you can go with commercializing. But literally, that is it. So my model wasn't working. So then I said, with my homies, these are the things that you're doing, and these are the places where it's not working. So now just do the opposite.
Okay.
Try. Okay? The opposite. Try X. The experiment worked. The experiment was new. It was nouveau for the space that it was in. Outdoors, bring your own booze, music that you don't know. The thing looks great. It's a music fast user. There's nothing else going on here but the music and the vibes.
Yeah.
And then that became commonplace. And then became true to market because we are Kenyans. Right? So if you're selling this thing and it's working, I just come and plonk my shop next to you and sell the thing you're selling. Because it's working.
Yeah, because it's working.
Na soko ni kubwa. Si tutanunua yako na wanunue yangu. Kweni nini? So then you have 90 phone shops next to each other selling the same phone. Right? And destroying everybody's like margin.
I always wondered how that happens. They're all just lined up together with the same exact things, same prices.
So that's exactly what happened in the event space. So Blankets defined the event space, these outdoor experiences, and then that became the truth of the template. And there were so many moments in the evolution. I'm like, why? Why are you outside? Why is this gig of yours outside? Outside is a pain in the ass. There are no fit for purpose spaces. With the exception of the carnival ground, there are no fit for purpose spaces.
Really?
There are zero outdoor spaces that are fit for purpose. Our first outdoor space at Tayana came closest because it was built as an outdoor spa.
Yeah.
So she had thought about the manicuring, she had thought about where clients enter, she thought about where the service providers enter, she had built toilets, she'd thought about like security, she thought about that. So we found a space that we could convert. But like technically, if you're at like where we have been producing at Lorette Gardens, it's a field. You bring everything.
Yeah, and set it up, yeah.
Everything. And then you compensate for the incompetence of the people who own the spaces, who should be doing certain things, but they don't do them. Like, why is there no perimeter lighting? So you end up spending a bunch of money solving perimeter lighting.
Yeah.
Right? Or parking lighting. Or like literally like, why do you have to have a parallel security operation? Or because usually you just run a skeleton one on these specific areas. This thing doesn't even exist in your master plan. So I don't care, as you do whatever you were doing. So at the point at which we were growing, because we were also building a music festival. So outdoor made sense. But I've performed in lots of festivals that have indoor-outdoor. A really good established festival, Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland. Okay. Phenomenal. It's one of the world's best, like most bougie festivals. It happens in a place that's like KICC. So for those of you who went to Kenyan high school and you interacted with KICC, that drama festival, music festival, it's like multiple conference rooms, which are basically halls, right? This one can do 2,000 people. This one can do like, this a breakout room. This one can do 30 people. It's a conferencing center, right? That they just take and program with music. And then they have outside, which is the KICC parking and outside, right? And then they kind of just plonk food vendors and like some outside stages. So you have the inside-outside experiences. One of the best festivals, one of the most respected music festivals in the world, Montreux Jazz Festival. Check it out. I'm not telling you gas. So the idea of outside was because we were just like solving our problem and a format that we had designed. It is not their template.
Yeah.
Now, as we scale, this thing becomes much more a pain in the ass. Because the consumer becomes more sophisticated. And even you as a producer become more sophisticated. Yeah. So we're all aspiring for better. Better costs a lot of money.
It does.
But people are not willing to go beyond a certain point in terms of ticketing. I'm not saying that. There's a lot of published data around that, where the actual Kenyan consumers, where their sweet spot of ticket purchase. That's like commissioned research. There's some World Bank research around that. There's some sector research around that. Some HIVA. There's a lot of research around that. Right? So there's a threshold that you're not willing to go beyond. So it's like, okay. And even us, we're like, okay, so if we maintain that to be true, so that you can keep access, right? Because if you go beyond that threshold, there's people who can't afford beyond that threshold, but a lot of people fall off.
Yeah.
Right? So then instead of like the festival fulfilling its function of discovery and like putting people in front, because the festival is a marketplace for artists. I put you directly in front of consumers. And consumers get a chance to be like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I want to engage with that. Oh, wow, that's really cool. I love that so much. Can I have some merchandise? We are a marketplace. Yeah. Right? The platform is a marketplace. So no middleman, just the platform gives you the stage, and you as the artist, jitete kwenye huyu consumer. And I really have that lived experience. I've toured extensively. 90% of the places we're playing, the person who knew us is a booking agent who's like, this is dope, this works in the computation. The audience doesn't know us. So when you're on stage, that's your chance to convert. You have 25,000 people, go. And then you convert. And then, it keeps yielding, right? Yeah. So that's really my perspective around that. So this festival thing that we're building for outside, has scaled. And so production realities now are insane. Just like the amount of time you need to set up these things, the amount of people who are needed to set up these things. Also, you have like hundreds of people. Also, there's a whole pre-prod budget that has to come up because people have to use toilets when they're setting up, right? And they have to have some kind of meals when they're setting up, right? Yeah. And you have to have security for. So before the thing has happened, there's a whole other cost thing that has gone in, right? And then we're now living through climate change.
Okay.
As I'm sitting here with you guys in the pod, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a really strong indication that October to December this year is going to be El Nino.
Oh, really?
So I really want to ask everybody, because see, December we're in Sherehe. Where are you Shereheing? There is no indoor space that can accommodate 10,000 packs. So we keep compensating. So then, okay, now let's get the big domes. Let's add this other dome. Let's add this other dome. So this guy goes to China. He gets this other dome. Oh, but this thing can only get to 9 meters. Oh, but the stage is 12 meters. So we need a thing that's 14 meters so it can clear the height of the stage. So that then like the people inside the thing can see the thing. But like the guy didn't buy it and he's the only guy who has it.
Yeah.
Oh, and anyway, you have 4 festivals in that weekend and there's only one guy who has that thing. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Also, it's unsustainable. Because then those things only work when the scale is really hot. And we've seen it. We have so much data about which are the ones that really scale and which are the ones that are kind of like high key, something that should be done inside, outside. So that's a thing. I've been pitching my advisory board. I'm pitching my producers and I'm pitching you guys. Like if I had it my way, It would be very, very soon that we would actually run an experiment using blankets and wine to teach you the benefits of indoor-outdoor. It's still a festival. You don't have to be outside. So I was having a whole conversation like with our producer at the start of the week. Because now when you start getting close to gig week, you monitor weather like Ngwata Francis per day. You're just like, where are we? On multiple apps, right?
Yeah.
And there's going to be a shitload of rain on production week. It's hard to produce in rain.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. You're laying electricals. It's hard. We are outside. I don't know what to tell people.
Yeah.
The production experience is so bullshit for the producer. It's so difficult. Right? And then money that should have been used for other things, for example, ensuring that the team has like guaranteed incomes. So now you spend that money on a dome so that we can be under a tent outside.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's a logic thing here that we must. So my pitch is inside. If we moved inside, we would have to solve the venue problem. Because now also everybody, the framing is like, oh, we need these arenas of 15,000, whatever. The economics of maintaining a 15,000 arena on a day-to-day is an insane economics. But Nairobi doesn't have a 3,000 standing room capacity venue right now. You can't do a 3,000 indoor concert in Nairobi.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
The one
at the Kasarani Indoor Stadium because that's a 5,000 pax venue. So let's just all use that. And let's create some pressure for the board of the ASK who built this hall that has zero consideration for acoustics to spend some more money to treat that thing so that you can have that venue can do 6,000 people pax standing. And then, you have 5,000, you lose some space when you're producing. So maybe like 4,300 sitting in indoor space. You have a 6,000 one. Then you escalate to an 8,000 one. Then you get to the 10 to 12,000 one. Then you get to 15 to 18,000 one. I'm pitching indoors.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I've observed it with like the EDM in the EDM scene, like in Netherlands and Martin Garrix. They do a lot of like the indoor like event spaces, and it's still a vibe.
Yeah,
like with the lighting and everything. So I
it
do
is a vibe.
I do see how that could be the future.
I think we go outside when outside makes sense, right? Like in September, it makes sense to be outside, right? We have good weather, at least from what we're tracking. It seems to be okay.
Yeah,
I can't tell you what we should do in December, because if they're right and there's El Nino, what are we talking about? And the way our economics and our business is set up is that we do need to produce that gig or something else because you have stuff that's sitting on your P&L that requires you to unleash cash flow.
Yeah.
Something's got to happen in that window because you need the cash flow. Even if you don't run the edition of the festival because, El Nino has given you a force majeure, you still need to run something because you need money in your cash flow because you have obligations. I can't tell you that it's the greatest idea for us to be outdoors in June. 100%. I know that's like, sorry, my publicist. But I want to broker this conversation. I want to broker this conversation because I also think that's part of my job in this industry.
Yeah.
I lead with truth. Honestly, I don't know that it's the best ideal, right? Because to insist on being outside, Sawa, we'll put the dome. So you'll be in a dome outside.
Yeah. But there's only
so
so
then
much.
Should we just be inside?
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do to deal with the elements. It's,
So what I'm saying actually is, for us, we have the opportunity. So I'm pitching it. I'm putting it as a pitch. I really want to hear your comments. I'm dead ass serious about this because I'm pitching everybody that I can pitch. I'm pitching my partner. I'm pitching like my advisory board. I'm pitching. I'm like, we have the indoor arena. And we have enough space within that indoor arena complex to run something on the indoor, like one stage on the indoor and another stage on the outdoor. And we could run that experiment as soon as June, where we are tracking some pretty like weather situation.
Yeah.
But everybody who I've told that is like, but that's not blankets. And I'm like, yeah, it is. You just don't have the outdoor element. And even if we stay outdoor, I have to cover you because you're going to spend all your time in the comments for, are you going to have things for the rain plan? How many tents? Are you going to put tents? I'm still going to have to put tents. So all that money I'm spending on tents, we just hire the indoor.
Exactly. So
and
you
then
don't
just
need those.
run the stage there.
Yeah.
Right, one stage there and run another stage outside because that indoor arena space has a nice outdoor, like it has an outdoor ring that's also still covered. So you're like indoor, outdoor. It's really interesting.
It's the best of both worlds.
It really is the best of both worlds. So I'm pitching 30%ers. What do you guys think? Mnonadre?
It does sound it sounds like it will solve a lot of problems. The last blankets that I was at, it was raining.
In December?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't dope.
It was raining and
I mean, it cleared out after some time, but
yeah.
in that moment when it was raining, it wasn't dope.
It's very you're not able to experience as much because you're worried about not getting your things wet and not getting it's very uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable.
And if it's cold, that's extra, right?
Yeah.
So having in an indoors arena would definitely solve some of those issues.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel like the pressure to maintain what people know as blankets versus do what you're talking about, which is now
so
innovate
first and foremost,
move forward?
I never feel that pressure.
Yeah.
Usually it is people, when I tell people, then they look at me like I'm an alien talking Martian, that I realize. Like I have zero. Let me say this in a way that's going to be useful. I recognize that we become attached to the way things are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
People
recognize
don't like
that.
change
That's
as
human
well.
nature,
Yeah.
myself included. I'm not excluded from that, right? Like this is the way Githeri normally looks, is the way Githeri normally looks, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also the kind of person who's really open to, but it can look a different way.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know how Githeri can look differently, but if I saw a different computation of Githeri and told me it's Githeri, I'd be like, bet. So it can also be.
There's very few people like that, though.
So then it's a really dangerous trait.
Yeah.
It's a really good trait as a founder, but a really dangerous trait as a CEO.
Okay.
Because generally, the rule in business is you evolve consumers. You don't revolution consumers.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So, whereas I know for a fact that what I am saying is the correct move, right? Production realities, maintenance of budget, good high quality experience for artists and incredible experience for consumers. I know I am right. I can't say we are doing it.
Yeah.
I have to build consensus. So I come on 30% and I pitch you and I start to seed this idea. And then I talk to the team and then I pitch them. And then we look at the data that we have around kind of the production realities and the numbers and the finances and the financing that, then you put those things. And then people have to sit with that thought and they have to be like, hey, but it doesn't feel like blankets. And I say, what doesn't feel like blankets? They're like, but you won't picnic. You know, now we are not outdoors, so we can't picnic. I say, yeah, but you were never going to picnic in the rain anyway. And then they're like, oh yeah. Yeah, but you know, just there being outside. I say, yeah, but you'll be in a dome outside. So you really won't be outside. You'll be in a dome outside.
I think at this moment you've already lost them.
So then I've had to learn that, right? Whereas I'm pretty certain about my instinct, business requires building of consensus and consumers have to be carried along on the journey. So then I come and I pitch you all of these things and I say, guys, what do you think? And then I also give you a framework that you can't argue with, which is in October to December, if they are right that there is El Nino, what will we do? And we need to sherehe.
Counter that,
We need to sherehe.
We need to sherehe. If we survive this
It's
year,
a human
bro.
need. It's a human
It's a
need.
basic human need.
It's a basic
It's a
human need.
Shelter, food.
It's at the top of the Maslow
And for
triangle.
all we know, we might even have succeeded. And even one term will be half term. So we'll be like on celebration mode. So what are we gonna do?
Please, half time.
Right? So then I have to offer this insight to the market and I have to stimulate a conversation. And then I have to make sure that my board backs my decision. So that if we do it, because generally what happens as a firstborn, and we are the firstborns in this space, we are the longest running music festival in the region.
Yeah.
With the exception of Sauti za Busara in Tanzania, right? So then there are some risks that only blankets can take to educate the blankets user and the future blankets user that, blankets can be indoor, outdoor, blankets can be outdoors. So what is blankets? Blankets is a curation. It's the community. It's the emphasis on discovery. It's experience. It's immersive. So these things that are inherent to blankets are not necessarily tied in with being outdoors. Outdoors was one version of the presentation.
Yeah.
And then the consumer agrees to do this thing so they can buy their tickets. And then sponsors can feel confident that you have a product that has market fit, and then they can give you the sponsorship. And then we can put all this money in the same pot and then we distribute it.
Mm-hmm.
Artists, managers, publicists, stylists, askaris.
Yeah.
We are an economy, whereas we're a nexus where many things compound, all the money comes together and then it goes out into the economy.
Yeah.
Builders,
yeah,
lighting guys, technicians. It's crazy what the festival is able to sort of create from an economic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to carry everybody along.
Mm-hmm.
It's I could be wrong, but then it feels like there's a lot of frustration behind how you're speaking. Is it coming from the responses of people and
That's just being
them
an
not
innovator.
Understanding
That's just
you?
being an innovator.
Okay.
You're just one step ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
You're just one step ahead.
Also, some would say this is experience talking.
Yeah. This is bro.
Oh no, we can't have someone validate
Yes!
those segues.
Yes!
We can't have someone
you.
validate
Thank
those
you.
segues.
Finally,
Oh, no.
finally,
time.
finally.
It is
Listen.
experience talking.
My transitions have improved, guys. Okay, but anyway,
Greatly.
let's talk about the music. But this kind of it ties, like, the more I hear you talk, the more I realize as much as Blankets and Wine was your baby, it's now belongs to everyone.
Yeah.
And that's kind of similar in music. Like, I find a lot of times when I'm making music and I release it, once it's out, it's no
out.
longer mine.
Yeah.
It belongs to the
Yeah.
people and how they feel about
Yeah.
it. But I wanted to ask, when did you make this project, one, and what pushed you to get back to releasing music?
Yeah.
And how did the collaboration with Blinky come about?
Yeah. So we started this work in the pandemic.
Okay.
We got a grant and a project called Africa 2020.
Okay.
And so they're like, you guys can make anything, but the condition is has to be audiovisual. So Musa Musi is the visual artist attached to the project, and Blinky and I were told just
He also made the artwork.
yeah, Musa Musi made the
Phenomenal
artwork.
artwork, by
Very
the way.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Musa Musi is the truth. That is an art director that like 10 toes in.
Yeah.
Wonderful. He also happens to be my boo.
Oh.
Shout out to you, bro.
My boo.
No wonder the big up is so big uppy.
No, but
Yeah.
like 100%. I think we say with Blinky all the time, kama kitu ni kali ni kali.
Mhm.
Like, don't be an inner hater. Like, it has nothing to do. It is just my privilege that I am his boo. It has nothing to do with me that he's so dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although, of course, I like to think that I have some contributions there.
Y'all are really a family of creatives, though. I like that.
Yeah, we
I
really
like
are.
that.
So we were given this grant and we just like make whatever you want to make. So we're like, all right. So we went and found a crib in Nanyuki. We invited a man-child.
Mhm.
That's Leon Omondi, who is like a genre
Mhm.
to himself.
Yeah.
I completely love him. And Lisa, who is just such a good, competent musician. Like, Lisa's a
She's
great
phenomenal.
write touch, a
That's
great
phenomenal.
singer.
Sam's fave.
She's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
She's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, she's definitely in my, like, she's ranking. Lisa is like, yeah. Like no knock.
Mhm.
And she really makes me feel something. And I think that's that's almost an art that's been lost in the world we are in now.
Okay.
And then Dilly, who's a long time friend.
She's been around for a minute. in the music scene.
Yeah, and
Just quietly there by doing his own thing.
Yeah, and Dilly's like
Shout out
a
to him.
master sampler. Like a master sampler and a great recording engineer. So we're like, cool, let's just go and like think some thoughts, kick it with each other and see where we want to go. And then we really had a lot of like big conversations around what do we want to create? What's the thing we want to make?
Yeah.
What's the artistic statement? What's the thing that we're grappling with? And between us, there was a real question around kind of the Kenyan identity, given our global, international access and positioning. What does it mean to be a Kenyan artist? What does it mean to reference Kenyan music? What could Kenyan pop, where frontiers Kenyan pop hasn't gone? What does experimenting look like? And kind of just through those conversations, started to develop these ideas, chopping up a sample, spending some time, thinking about that life. And then one of those days, Blinky's like, nice just experience talking. And I was like, correct.
Was this entire body of work made in 2020?
No. And it was more like 2021. And
Okay.
we started in 2021 and then we kept working on it. And I think we wrapped recordings in 24.
Okay. So
23,
periodically
24.
you'd lock in and just work on the project and then leave it for a while, then work on it.
Exactly. Right.
Okay.
Because then we also felt like there were some ideas that had evolved for sure, like Cinema Kosa, Niko Hype, even a new take on Nawapa. There was some stuff that we did just kind of sitting with the work.
Yeah.
But it wasn't our intention to sit on the work that long. It's
Okay.
also just like acceptance of how life is moving.
It's life. Sometimes life lives.
Yeah. We had a baby. Blinky had We Cut Kistu. He had original dates. The
Classic.
dates got moved. And I was just very present to what that meant for him. Like releasing work is hard. So kind of like, okay, so what's the right timing where you can attend to this and the work has imeiva?
My favorite song on the
Yeah.
project is definitely Aina Moja. That's just my favorite. Like the melody is just phenomenal. But I do want to talk.
Aina Moja. Do you have a fave?
Oh, go ahead.
I was actually listening back to the project again last night. I would say it's probably Aina Moja again as well. I don't know. I like it. It just feels it when it starts playing. It just does something. It feels really good, and I feel like in terms of like what Blinky offers, it sounds like you guys got to a really good meeting point on that specific song.
Yeah.
Everything just sounds like it was working for everyone involved in that. I mean, there's a couple of songs on there.
Yeah.
But then Aina Moja, definitely, when I heard it, I was like, okay, this is.
That's a runaway for you.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, you talked about what does it mean to be Kenyan, especially when you're making music and releasing music and, the themes that you're talking about. And this is something that has been in your music since like with Kenyan Message and everything.
Yeah.
I was listening to that and I was just like, yo, it's just so relevant today. You know what I mean? Like
So
you could have made that song about today and it would make so much sense.
Yeah.
And there's something that Sam and I have been talking about on the pod, which is, do you think that artists have an obligation to talk about socio-economic topics in their music? Or do you think that they don't really have that? Like artists can really make whatever they want. But do you
100%.
Okay.
Free the artist.
What do you think?
Art is first
Free
for
the
you.
artist.
You
Okay.
make whatever art you want to make.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to talk about social political things, do it. If you just want to talk about Banju, do it. If you want to you don't even want words, you just want to put like birds there on top of an oboe, go right ahead and do it.
Birds on top of an
Birds
oboe.
on an oboe. Have a fire projects too.
Bro,
Yeah.
that's a good
We
name
need
too.
we need
Birds
more
on top of an
instrumental.
oboe.
Exactly. We need more
Yes.
instrumental projects that are not
Yes.
necessarily vocal
Yes.
vocal driven. Like there's just so
Yes.
much more to offer in terms of
Yes.
Kenyan culture.
I really agree
That
with
we could
you.
do with that,
I
yeah.
would love to be, when you start working on the project, make
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
you
yeah.
call me, please.
Oh,
I'd love
for
to
sure.
be in the room.
Sure.
I don't think artists have an obligation to do
Okay.
anything. If you decide to go down that route, do it. But free the art.
But then what would you say about the backlash? Because I mean, recently, of course, there's a thing with
Right.
Ben. But then there's a backlash, and it's very militant almost. It's very like you have to. You make music well, and you're a great artist, and because you're a great artist, you have to represent us on that stage.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that?
It's a burden of being. It's a burden of being who he is.
Mm-hmm.
They really love him. We really love him. He's kind of like, he's our rock star. He's our number one. We really love him.
Yeah.
So, and he's our guy.
He's our guy.
He's our guy, Sana.
He's our star boy.
You know what I mean? So when we see him with the ops, for whatever reasons, we're like, bro, we don't want to see you with the ops.
At all.
I
think that's, to me, that's where I landed with the whole thing. I'm like, release BN of obligation. What are you talking about? He's an artist. He can sing whatever he wants. He can meet whoever he wants, right? But because of this moment of awakening, we are in where people are like, oh, we're really clear about like who our ops are and how our ops are moving.
Yeah.
Whereas you may not be able to stop your op from, succeeding.
Stop your op.
You can't stop your op from succeeding. The guy was coming anyway, right? Don't be with him. Don't be seen with your op. Don't give your op your social currency.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I landed. Like as kind of the underlying thing that I really got from it. Everything else, I'm like, Yako, because I don't subscribe to that artists are meant to be the ones, the mirrors and the whatever. No, that's some
the faces
artists.
of the revolution.
Yeah. And also when artists are just, being themselves and singing their topics or rapping their topics or oboeing their topics, that is a reflection of society. That is what you're doing. That's literally what you're doing. You're being in love. You're worrying about things. Your parents are aging. You're whatever. The topics that make their way to the artist's music are the reflection of the times and the things that they're living through.
Yeah.
So the idea that there's a hyper specificity to the social political and that being the only thing that is, required or demanded of the artist, I think that's disingenuous.
This is crazy, but this is full circle from the beginning of the podcast where you said, do you think about breathing or do you think about manifestation? Yeah, like an artist just creating art.
Yeah.
Whatever art they create, it's always going to be a reflection on the society at that time.
Exactly. And that's why you love the songs that you love. They relate to you.
Yeah.
But there's a moment right now of accelerated social political awareness. So you're hoping that this, or you're wanting, or you want it reflected back to you. And so then you project that desire onto the artist who, you love. And I contend that that's not the artist's burden to bear.
Yeah. I mean, it must be very tasking though, because creating in and of itself is a very emotionally tasking endeavor. And you're grabbing things from different sources to try and put it into a song, and then here you are presenting that, and then people are take that apart and say, no, you need to include my struggle in your song as well, or the struggle as how I see it, my perspective of the struggle in your song as well. And that can get very, very, very tasking for an artist.
Yeah, it can be. And to speak to this moment, my other reflection there was like, we just need to stop being so sanctimonious. We're lying.
We had this exact conversation.
We're lying.
So the thing is,
we're lying.
Yeah.
So
artists sing when heads of state appear. They do.
There's
it's
a lot
been
of
happening forever.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and it's not popular.
It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just kind of understanding that that's part of the function of the thing. And you always have choice, and sometimes you don't have choice, and it doesn't even matter. What I'm just saying is don't be so sanctimonious about that thing. And you're the same person who's also saying how Maraga, Okia, and Sifuna need to be talking. I'm like, isn't Sifuna part of our ops?
Yeah.
So we should be negotiating with the ops so that we can build this thing.
Yeah.
But so I'm just don't be sanctimonious. I'm not saying you can't have your feelings. I'm just just take it 12 notches down.
Yeah.
Right? And release your idols. They're not your idols. He doesn't even want to be your idol. He's a guy who makes music and he loves that he's able to connect with you. Mm-hmm. He's not asked to be your idol. Yeah. Release him. Release him from your idolatry and what you expect him to then represent for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
Expectations.
He's not a superior Kenyan to you. He's just a Kenyan. And in some spaces, he becomes kind of the condensed version of what people understand as Kenya in that moment. And therefore, it becomes that he's being a flag bearer for Kenya. No, bro. He's just an artist doing his thing.
No, but okay, it's a very nuanced conversation.
It's very nuanced.
Because you see,
that's why you can't be
unfortunately,
sanctimonious about it.
unfortunately, not everybody has come to the awakening that you have, or looking at artists through this lens. A lot of people still put artists on pedestals.
Don't pedestal anybody.
But
what are we going to do?
But unfortunately, that's what a lot of people already do.
Just enjoy the work. Connect with the work. Appreciate the work. Keep it moving. Nothing. Leave it alone. That's a human being like you. They're flawed and they're fundamentally chasing their own agenda. Exactly the way you are. So drop this sanctimoniousness. Even you're just pursuing your own freedom and happiness.
That's true.
As is that artist.
Yeah.
So release it.
And
kill your idols. Just enjoy the thing and keep it pushing.
The thing about BN too, and I think this is why I think he's such a brilliant artist,
That's
is
such good points.
he has curated himself in a place. I mean, when you look at BN, you just see BN the guy. But he's one of the leading artists in the country, and he's the one who's really, and in a lot of spaces we see him as carrying the flag for Kenyan music.
Yeah, and exactly.
Yeah.
And I hate that. That's that Colosseum mentality.
Mhm.
So you sit in the Colosseum and you're not a fighter. You pick a fighter.
Exactly.
Then you project all your expectations on this fighter to fulfill your desire to like have power in that moment, to feel the rush of a win, to belong to something. It's a team. You have no real reason why you belong to that football team that you love so much. You're just there. Now you can never quit. Referencing our whatever conversation, right? And then they fulfill a dream and an aspiration for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you never have to play ball yourself. You never have to put yourself on the line. You never have to do that crazy work of being a supreme athlete operating at.
It's difficult.
And you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So it's gladiators. So this is what we do. We take this person who's just exploring his own vision and ideas and identity and his own questions and his own happiness.
Yeah.
And we make them a flag bearer for my aspiration.
But so do you know what people say? So people will say, but
I think it's unhealthy.
you signed. This is not what I'm saying. This is what
He's
people
saying,
say.
I'm not saying
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
Muthoni.
Yeah, this is what
It's
people
not
say.
me.
Hey, just say it with your chest. Though. Just say it with your chest.
This is what most people would
Have
say.
the opinion if you're going to have it, bro.
So most people would be like if you're talking about like artists, celebrities, or athletes, they'd be like, okay, you signed up for this one, and two, you're making all this money, because that's always the perspective. That's always the perception. And so people will be like, because you're making all this money, then deal with it.
Yeah.
Because if I was making a ton of money, I would just deal with it. That's
Yeah, but
how
people say that, but I don't
say.
think they really believe it, though. I think you say that just because you're not in that position. It's a very heavy thing to deal with, having the whole country at your neck because you made a decision that might have been the best decision for you and your career or whatever it is. There's a lot of nuance in there. But then people would now look at that. I mean, oh yeah, I would. If it was me, I'd go up there and yell whatever I'm yelling and leave. I don't think people are completely honest with themselves in that way.
This is why I'm talking about drop the sanctimoniousness. You are lying. You're not even trying to have the conversation you're pretending you're having. So to your point about, he's making all this money. Let's talk about that. Let's double click that. Why are you envious about why are you bothered? What does it matter how much money he's making? Inakuhusu nini? Inakuhusu
Well, pocket watching is fun though.
That's what I'm saying. So that's human nature. And that's where our snarkiness comes from. And that's where our envy is hidden from.
Sure.
Right? And that's where the Kenyan crabs in a barrel. Iyo pesa hata ungetengeneza kama sio sisi kukusupport. Let me return you down. Who are you? It's me. Mimi ndio kusema.
But to be
tukua hapo ni mimi ndio nimekuweka hapo. That's really the subtext. That's truly what you're actually saying. I believe it from
you because you're an artist, and I'm pretty sure that you've struggled with that before.
You guys of blankets are so greedy. You guys are so greedy.
Are you?
What are you doing? You're pocket watching, yeah? Like womb watching.
Yeah.
And you're actually... What is that? I actually can't understand it. That's not my nature. I never look at somebody and think like, because you're making all this money, you should be able to take it. What does What does making all this money or lack thereof? First and foremost, you have no idea what's really happening in people's finances, right? Even with the billionaires, you have no idea.
Yeah.
So let's move away from that. What does that have to do with you not being a human being, entitled to be here and to feel things and to go through your motions?
Mm-hmm.
So I should just take it? So he should just take it. We should just be dicks to him and then he should just take it because he has all this money. It's so cruel. And it's so, at a human energy level, childish.
So I think there's an element of inhumanity, and I guess it goes to
It's so cruel.
the Colosseum thing. We love to build people up,
Yeah.
and then we love to tear them
That's
down.
a Kenyan thing. And I mean,
Not just Kenya. It's a human thing. It's a human
but
thing.
I really want, this is the second pitch I'm making on 30%.
Oh, here we
today.
go.
So
Every
the first
today
one was
pitch.
indoors.
The first one is indoor.
The
The
second-
future of gigs is indoors.
Uh-huh.
And take that one to the bank. You're not going to be able to outrun climate change. That's not changing. So either you're going to spend all your money trying to build around it, or you can accept that that is a reality and then build the fit-for-purpose infrastructure for that future that we're going into.
Yeah.
Climate change is real. The end. It's been raining since March this year.
Mm-hmm. Inconveniencing too.
It's been raining,
walking
not March,
outside.
and February. Yeah, it's
yeah.
end February. It's been raining pretty much all year. We only had sun in January. And they're saying there's going to be El Nino. You have to go indoor. And actually, when we make a move for indoor, that's the capital is going to follow because there's capital. There's money in the market. So I'm pitching indoor. So that then we are saying we can't all be at indoor stadium. Then it's like, great, Uncle, whoever, now that mall you're going to make, don't make it a mall.
Yeah.
Tengeneza
make it
hall
a-
ya mziki. Ita architect anajua
Yeah, so
sound.
people, we need to stop building
Less more.
Less
apartments,
more.
man.
Yeah, less more.
Apartments going up everywhere. We
Yeah,
need to- some of these guys
and
need to
also venues
invent-
at different scale. Like
Yeah.
also not everything is for 2,000 people. There's
That's
actually
true.
you just need the space for 120 people, and somebody else needs a space for 8,000. Let's build that out
Okay.
countrywide.
Yeah.
That's what we should be doing, and let's only go outdoors when it is the best. It is the best background for the experience you want to plonk upon it.
Sure.
Right? It's not the default. That's number one.
Number 2.
Number 2 pitch. Shit. Where were we in the conversation before?
We were talking. Oh my God, we were talking about people loving to build people up
Yes.
and then take them
Pitch
down.
number 2. As a Kenyan, call yourself to a meeting. Call yourself to a meeting and observe your inner hater. Kenyans
Have him
are
sit opposite
haters,
from you.
myself
Yeah.
included. If you're a Kenyan, you have an inner hater. Some of that came from the education system. highly critical. We are highly
Well, you said it
self-critical.
came from the
Some of it
education
came from the
system.
education system
Oh.
because you're not allowed to be wrong. If you did 8 for 4, like everything is very do or die. You're not allowed to be wrong. You're not allowed. Like your room for critical thinking is very much reduced. You know, things become very it is or it isn't. You know, can you cram this thing or can't you cram this thing? You know, nuance flattened right from education, and then the system rewards like the people who get the A, then they get this other thing, and the rest of you, it's a very like it's all or nothing. Like my whole life,
Very black and white.
Yeah, you know and I think that there's something that's not the only one. And please, in the comments, build upon the thesis. But there's an inner hater. There's an inner self-hate that we carry. That's also part of post-colonial trauma. Hating ourselves, inability to see ourselves as worthwhile. So we shame people. If Sam thinks he's worthwhile and Sam is going ahead, we have to remind Sam.
No, you need to chill.
You who told you.
Yeah.
You first, you're only ahead because me, I'm the one who put you ahead.
Exactly.
It's my support. But you never talk
me.
about support when you're buying a product. There's never support. When
It's
you're
very
when
convenient.
you're buying Jabba,
It's very convenient.
when you go to the club
Yeah.
and you need to buy your
Yeah.
Casamigos, your Don Julio, they're not supporting your beer. You're just buying the product. But when it's an artist, you're supporting them so they can remember they ain't shit without you.
Mhm.
I'm the one with the power, not you. It's a power
crazy.
trip. The inner hater. Kenyans,
Call
we
yourselves to a
must
meeting.
heal.
Yeah.
We're not going to survive the other side of this revolution that we are saying we want with this framework. It's too painful. There's too much pain, and we project all our pain on people. And when people carry burdens that they're not, Beyonce's an amazing artist, he is dope, been dope, stays dope, will always be dope. Enjoy the music, release him of your other obligations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can be in the conversation. The people I respect in the conversations are the ones who are like, I would have preferred. I don't think that. I would not have wanted to. So you don't make it, don't sit on the either or. Just say me as me, me maoni yangu ni, hivi, keep it light and keep it pushing.
Don't make your opinions law.
Keep it light and keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing.
Keep it pushing. That artist offers you work, beautiful work, to help you deal with your life.
A piece of themselves too.
To help you deal with your life.
Yeah.
That's it. Require nothing else from them. Don't build no damn idol. Don't feel the need to break somebody down. You don't like it, you can also be like, yeah, I didn't like it. And then you keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep it moving. Keep it moving. You want to have a conversation with somebody, go ask Sifuna. Go ask Sifuna what the heck is going on with Nairobi. That's who you should be asking. Ask them. Ask the parliamentarians who passed on April 9th.
Yeah.
The military deal, Kenya and France, they can be here. 5 years renewal, they have immunity. Which, by the way, is not uncommon. Pretty much, militaries are entities on themselves. Militaries have their own courts.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's in and of itself, it's not unique, but there's a unique perspective because, colonization and all those things. So you want to take somebody to task, take them to task. Also, I was like, it was quite interesting. And I was like, the nuance has flattened. This was Africa, Kenya. No, Africa, whatever. It was the whole of Africa. Pretty much what I'm saying is that there was 28 heads of state.
The Africa Forward Summit.
Yeah, there was 28 heads of state. So there was so many other things that were going on.
Yeah.
And then we latched onto this one thing and we made it everything. And I'm not telling you to feel anything or not feel anything. Leave me alone. You've already said your part, right? I'm just saying my part is I hate to see my homies with the ops. Don't be with the ops. But if you make the decision to be with the ops, that's your call.
Exactly.
Because I don't look to you to be my leader. I'm leaderless. No. I've been leaderless.
Funnily enough, like that's kind of the conclusion Sam and I got to last podcast. We kind of said, as much as we disagree or you agree with whatever is going on, like it's not the conversation we need to be having.
No,
the conversation we need to be having is why is our country being sold to these people?
Right.
That's the main conversation we need to be having.
But you can also create. I think a good part for the conversation that came out is then artists have to think a little bit more about we carry so much social currency.
Agreed.
We really are so connected to people's dreams and imagination. Despite our best efforts, we are pedestaled and we do carry aspiration for people. And therefore, how do we discharge our social currency? Who do we give it to? Which rooms do we be in and which rooms do we not be in? I think it's been very helpful. And not just for artists, but everybody. Kind of like, now you can all reflect, right? Everybody can take that and be like, what's my piece here? What could I do to not help my op and even maybe sabotage my op?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody can. I think that's been the healthy part of the conversation.
Let me ask. So with Perform,
thank you for pivoting us out of this thing. Why am I still talking about it?
You can go on forever.
Sam is like,
this is kind of
no. It's
5 more minutes of.
Oh no! Listen, one of the things I think I like, especially when we have guests, is I love listening, so I get to listen to your perspective as an individual and as an artist. Obviously, with Blankets and Wine and you as an artist, you definitely hold a place, and it's good to talk to an artist about this because it concerns an artist as well. So it's good to also see that perspective.
Yeah.
Sometimes the consumers, we tend to feel like we are the end all be all of it. Like we are what's important in the equation, but not really. So
we are all in it.
Yeah.
Everybody's equally important.
Yeah.
No. So I was just gonna ask, like with Perform, like as much as I know a lot of it is centered around, artist development and, cluing people in on the business of music. Do you also have these type of talks about like what type of the weight you might get as an
Yeah,
artist.
we haven't gotten there yet, and that could be something that could be
I think
useful
it would
to
be
run
so
as a
useful.
masterclass, right?
Yeah.
Because where we have been really focused on perform is building the ecosystem.
Okay.
So artists, managers, publicists, event producers, can we all read off the same playbook? Do we all understand that we are servicing startups, right? The artist as a startup, the startup ecosystem.
Yeah.
Develop the skills, networks, and the opportunities for that. That's what we're really concerned with perform.
Yeah.
But I do think that there may be some space for some subtleties because we make work, we create work, we do showcases, but we haven't really had a conversation kind of around what could be artist pathways. Like if you decide to pick obligation in your art, right? So what could that mean? And
No, because just hearing you talk and having experienced the pressures from people
Yeah.
and the projections from people,
Yeah.
I think that's something that's really, really necessary for artists to understand that that's something that they're just naturally going to go against,
yeah,
and experience.
yeah,
It's
good call.
yeah, I think that's very, very important.
Yeah.
It's a mental health thing, but I think
There's something there.
there's
Mhm.
something there.
Yeah. Just real quickly as we begin to wrap up, the lineup for this current the upcoming Blankets and Wine. What's
The
your mentality?
June edition.
Yeah. What's your
Labdi.
Bro.
Do you know how much of a fan I am of Labdi?
Bro, that's my girl.
Do you know I've
Yeah.
listened to Away like I'm not even exaggerating, probably like 75
No, she's
times,
phenomenal.
or
She's
like
phenomenal.
100 times.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She's one of the. And sometimes I look at the amount of music isn't about numbers, but sometimes I go and I'm like, why are there not as many people listening to what
Yeah.
Labdi has to
Yeah.
offer?
Yeah.
She's so Kenyan, and then she's fusing it with like
Yeah.
more modern sounds, but still playing the Oruto and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, she's
Yeah.
such a genius,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So I was so happy to see her on
Yeah.
the lineup.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So this year, first, one of the things that we are really telling ourselves to do. So to previously, how you were like, there's some artists that Labdi was one of those where it's just like, so we have Labdi. And then it's
Mhm.
like, I don't care about any data set or any information. It's like,
Yeah, we
so we
let's
have
just
Labdi.
yeah.
That's
She's
on
on
the
there.
table.
Me and
Exactly.
if I was in the meeting,
Yeah,
I would do the same exact thing.
Yeah. So one of the things we've been talking about with the curatorial committee for this year definitely is just doing more of that, just taking more artistic risks. It's not risks, but risk relative to this other side of the thing, which is called the Excel sheet. Oh,
Yeah.
the bottom
dreaded
line,
Excel
right?
sheet. Yeah.
The
Yep.
bottom
The
line
blessed
and the
Excel
bums
sheet.
on seats.
All right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the blessed Excel sheet.
Blessed Excel sheet.
Yeah. Art thrives with boundaries. Yeah. So we want to do more of that.
Yeah.
Stuff that we just think is interesting. I'm like, you need Pongo. I don't know what to tell you. I don't care about even like, we can campaign her, but that's not the point. You just watch her. After you've watched her, come talk to me.
Yeah.
Come and
Yeah.
buy me a drink.
Yeah.
I'll have expanded your life.
Convince me
I'll
that
have
she's
given
not
you.
the right
I'll have
person
given
for
you
it.
2 years of your life back.
Yeah.
An artist that you didn't even know where she's
Exactly.
from, right?
Yeah.
So there's some of that function that the festival wants to take on more boldly, which when you're in a growth spurt, you become a little bit less bold about some of those decisions. So now it's like, yeah, we can be a little bit bold about some of those decisions. Just balance it out. Just make sure that the buffet is working and the Excel sheet is balancing. If the P&L is working, okay, right?
Then you're good.
So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about Fave. I've been wanting to watch Fave for so long. I have so many liked songs. You know the way like it does, they're listening on your Spotify and you're like,
Yeah.
save,
Yeah.
save. Who's this song? Save. Who's this song? Like that. Like
Save.
she's the kind of artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a few artists who are like that. It's just like, I don't know you,
Mhm.
but I just hear the voice. There's an honesty there. There's a songwriting. There's a technique that is so beautiful. I just want to see that,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
yes, done. And then you have, folks like Watenda Willie who, yeah, it's their moment.
It's their time.
It's their
It
moment.
is. It
It's
really
their
is.
time.
Don't even
It is.
argue with it. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's their moment. And then you have Mutoria. That's a brand new record. I love Mutoria. I love Mutoria. He's an artist. And, like, the DMs he sends me, we're such music geeks. It's like, oh, check the staging. Oh, check this lighting. Oh, check this thing. Oh, like,
really?
Yeah. I've known Muthoni a long time. He was the first cohort of Perform. And he joined because I really admired him. Him, Kaboshe. I was just like, these are people who are just like really interesting. Ashkari, I was like, there's something like...
We have a lot of exciting artists in the scene, I think. But then there's this tendency to focus on the 5 and the 6 because that's what you hear on radio constantly.
Yeah, but also because bums on seats. And let me tell you, you guys, consumer behavior. Like, that's why I'm telling you, this is called Night's Experience Talking. Ninasema hivyo na my chest. Take it to the bank.
Yeah.
We see what you say and then we see what you buy.
Yeah.
And so we recognize that our job is to make sure you have enough of what you're willing to buy. And then as you have enough of what we think you need to know, everybody happy.
Everyone happy.
Everybody happy. Give you enough of what you're willing to buy, and then give you what we know you need, even if you don't know you need it yet. Just put it in front of you for your consideration. Because once you put it in front of you for your consideration, you're like, oh my God, this is so dope. I'm like, yes.
It's like people don't know what they want until they get it. And then they're like, oh my
Yes.
God, yeah, I
Which
needed
is
this.
human nature. Even you don't know what you want until you get it. Like, you don't know what you want.
Yeah.
Like, if Anderson .Paak dropped a new project now, you love Anderson, but you don't know what you want him to give you. You'll only know it when you hear and you're like, oh, I love that. Oh, I love that. I don't like this one. You don't know. Even with a thing that you think you know. You never know. And that's the festival's position. We will always hold discovery for you because we just fundamentally believe there's what you know you don't know, and there's what you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know. That's where I need to be the area expert.
I tried to follow that.
Yeah, there's
I
what
tried
you know.
my best.
You know that you know the
there's
bums
what you
and
know.
seats,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
There's what you know you don't know.
That's what I know I
The
don't
other thing that
Pull out the fingers.
yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, there's an un stage. You're not really an unsa, but you know, Kenyans kind of like this uns thing. I know I don't know it, but I know there's a thing called uns.
Let me check it out. Maybe.
I know I don't know it, right? Then there's a third thing. I don't know it, and I don't know that I don't know it.
Okay.
Labdi. It's just never been put in front of your sphere for consideration. Now, once it's put in front of you for your consideration, if you come on time and you catch her set, you're like, oh my God, where has this been all my life?
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Then the festival
can't
has
you can't
succeeded.
miss what you haven't experienced.
This is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's where the festival really thrives. It's like that's the place to build out the real taste at the fringe of things. That's where taste really lives.
That was amazingly done.
Brilliant.
I really respect how you just
That was brilliant. I
wrapped
like it. That's some
everything
good,
in.
good PR marketing work right there. Brilliant. You've been doing this for a long time. I'm
Nice
guessing.
experience talking.
It is experience talking.
Out on all platforms.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
speaking of music, towards the end of the podcast, we usually like to have the guest play a song that they would like. It could be yours, it could be anyone,
Yeah.
as long as it's Kenyan.
Yeah.
So is there a song that
Of
you've
course.
been jamming to that you
Niko Hype.
Okay.
That's my favorite song right now on the
Niko
record.
Hype.
To be fair, the whole record is my favorite
Yeah.
song. That's Night's Experience Talking. So I'm really struggling actually listening to stuff. So I'm finding it's like I can listen to this, then maybe Olivia Dean. And then I come back
And then jump back to it.
to Now It's
Yeah.
Experience Talking.
Yeah. Then Post Malone.
No,
Oh.
I've been listening to I've been listening to
So-
Yuji's tape.
To Lil
Okay.
Durk.
Yeah, so I've been listening to Yuji's tape. I listen a little bit to Yuji's tape. Great. I come back to Night's Experience Talking. Right now, it's like my grounding thing. And then 444. I don't know. Me and Jay-Z, we are together at
You still listen to 444?
Like, oh
What
my
year did
God.
that come out?
2017.
Wow.
You know, it's crazy, but I feel like
I'm deeply in that discography.
I'm in we are in the minority of people who like that project because a lot of people don't like it, and I'm like, how?
Yeah,
It's
a
such
lot
a
of people
good
are
project.
dummies.
It's
They have bad
so
taste.
good.
That's not our fault.
It's so introspective and like
Exactly. And
Yeah.
mature. And the
Realizing I'm
music
a
is
human
great.
being who's
And I
made
even
mistakes.
like that he thinks that he didn't have the best bars of his life. And I'm like, yeah, because you had the best honesty of your life.
it's so visceral.
It's so
It's about
visceral.
being human.
You understand?
Yeah.
The guy's giving us teaching. Shut up. If you're not about that, what kind of fun
Jay-Z,
are
if
you?
you're watching, yo,
Jay-Z, we
are
love
big
you.
fans.
Jay-Z, if you're watching.
Hove. hop forever. Period. That's
Oh,
on
yeah.
period. So yeah. So basically it's not experience stalking and therefore Niko Hype. That's like the most futuristic song we've ever made. And I just love it so much.
Perfect. So you guys are listening to Niko Hype by MDQ and Blinky Bill.
Woohoo!
So you guys make sure you go run that up. Now it's experience stalking. Shout out to everyone who had a part to play in that project. The artwork, we said this like 3 podcasts ago. That was our artwork of the week. Phenomenal piece of work that you put in. I just want to say thank you so much for coming through. This was actually a really dope conversation. So philosophical. We philosophized a lot.
Yeah.
And I like
Exactly,
that. And
yeah.
I like that. Is there anything last
I really
thing
want
that
to
you'd
say
like
thank
to
you.
share?
I've been such a fan. I'm so happy. Yes, bucket list done. I'm on 30%.
You know, she came in and said, I listened to the podcast and me and someone like, you're
You're just trying to gas. You're just trying to gas. Yeah.
Most
but
people
thank
needed
you,
to be
though.
hugged more when they were children.
Thank you. Thank you.
Believe in yourself.
Thank you.
I love it. I love the
you.
space you're holding for the culture. I think it's so important to have, good, critical, deep conversation. I look forward to how this pod ages. I look forward to the comment section. I've pitched you guys. Ebuyu,
I
give
have a
me.
feeling that
Indoors.
they might not even focus on your pitches, but rather what you said. That's how people are. Like, oh, what did I disagree with? Okay, let me
Indeed.
get in
Don't
there.
do
But it's
that.
fine,
I mean, anyway, do whatever you want. It's your life. It's your version of the illusion. You know what I mean? Like, do what you want. But I'm just so thankful to have this opportunity. June 7th, it's a slap.
Yep.
If we stay outside,
We'll be
if we
there.
stay outside with the dome, if we go inside, whichever version the producers and the community end up at, it's a slap. That's one of the... I'm really looking forward to
I'm
that
excited
programming.
for the stage.
Yeah, the stage is
for
it's
Onja.
really sick.
I really enjoyed the last one.
Yeah.
So I'm excited
Oh
for
my
that.
god. Yeah.
I was so
me
sad I
too.
couldn't be there for
And
the last
actually,
one.
I've never caught a full-on like Ele Dave set in a while. So I'm really curious how that B3
How's it
Beats is
gonna
gonna
sound?
go. Yeah, because him and Suraj have quite some good musical chemistry.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Amazing
I'm
artist.
really looking forward to like Kaneda and Saem because we were just like, bro, like not uns, but dance.
Yeah.
So,
Not uns, but uns.
Not uns, but uns. You know how you're going to unsify
Yeah.
Abanton.
Yeah.
Up to you. And Afrobeats, up to you. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they rise to that, to the brief. And I think it's just going to be beautiful. And also, we just need to see each other. We need to see each other, you guys. We need to get out. We need to hug each other. We need to see each other. We just need to see each other.
Community.
It's been tough. It's tough. I don't know, you guys. It's tough.
It's been tough.
It's
It's
tough
hard out
mentally.
there,
It's tough
man.
emotionally. It's tough financially.
Financially.
It's tough. So just like come out and receive a hug and give a hug and like let's vibe.
Let's vibe. And with that, we want to just thank you guys so much. This
Yeah,
is
for
our
tuning in.
first ever iteration of not ever. It's our second. The real ones know. But this is
Exactly.
the first
Yeah.
iteration of this video podcast, which we're gonna be carrying out. So you guys make sure you watch us on YouTube. We would really, really appreciate it. It's the 30% pod on everything. If you're a day one, I always end with the 3 C's. Confidence. Always be confident in your art.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first C.
Mm-hmm.
The second C is consistency, which in my opinion is better than talent. I feel like you have to be consistent.
100,000%.
The people we remember are the people who are consistent. And number 3, craft. Even if you only have 5 minutes, make sure you spend it becoming better at your chosen craft.
Wow.
And so with that,
With those
MDQ,
Cs.
thank you so much. This was amazing.
Thank you so much for coming.
What a great use of time. Woo-hoo-hoo.
And we will see you guys on episode 184.